Hey everyone and welcome. In any language, connecting a reason to a result is absolutely key. And of course, Korean is no exception. Today we're going to master a super important piece of grammar to do just that. All right, let's jump right in and see how this works.
So, let's kick things off with the big question, right? You've got a cause and you've got an effect. How do you link them together smoothly in one single Korean sentence? Like, how would you say something like, I was sick, so I went to the hospital? Well, it turns out there's this fantastic, super useful grammar form that we're about to break down.
And here it is, the star of the show, a-seo. You just tack this onto the end of the verb or adjective that's giving you the reason for something. Think of it as the key that unlocks the meaning of so or because in these kinds of sentences. It's simple, it's elegant, and trust me, you're going to see it everywhere.
Okay, now this is really cool. This slide actually states the rule in Korean. It says, when you state a reason, you use a/also. So let's listen to this a few times. Really let it sink in. Just get a feel for the rhythm of the language. 이유를 말할 때 a/also를 사용합니다. Okay, again, a little slower this time. 이유를 말할 때 a/also를 사용합니다. And one last time, let's really hear it. 이유를 말할 때 a/also를 사용합니다. Awesome. So now that we've got the rule down, you know the best way to make it stick is practice, right? We're going to walk through 5 different example sentences. I really want you to listen carefully to the pronunciation, and hey, feel free to try repeating after me in the pauses.
All right, let's start with our first example. 배가 아파서 병원에 갔어요. The pronunciation for that is 배가 아파서 병원에 갔어요. Let's hear that in Korean one more time. 배가 아파서 병원에 갔어요. And what that means is, my stomach hurt, so I went to the hospital. You see how the reason, my stomach hurting, is connected to the result, going to the hospital, using that a-seo? It's perfect. Let's hear it one last time. 배가 아파서 병원에 갔어요.
All right, on to the next one. Here's a sentence about the weather. 비가 와서 집에 있을 거예요. That's pronounced 비가 와서 집에 있을 거예요. Let's listen to that again. 비가 와서 집에 있을 거예요. And that translates to, it's raining, so I'm going to stay home. The reason, it's raining, leads to the result, staying home. Super simple and clear. Let's listen once more. 비가 와서 집에 있을 거예요. Here's an example I think we can all relate to. 너무 피곤해서 일찍 잤어요. Let's break down how that sounds. 너무 피곤해서 일찍 잤어요. And again, in Korean. 너무 피곤해서 일찍 잤어요. And this means I was too tired, so I went to bed early. You see the pattern here, right? The reason, being tired, connects beautifully to the result, going to bed early. One more time. 너무 피곤해서 일찍 잤어요. Let's look at another very common situation. 돈이 없어서 못 샀어요. The pronunciation is 돈이 없어서 못 샀어요. Let's hear the Korean again. 돈이 없어서 못 샀어요. So what this means is, I didn't have money, so I couldn't buy it. The reason, not having money, directly leads to the result. It's a perfect connection. Let's hear it again. 돈이 없어서 못 샀어요. Okay, and for our final practice sentence. 시간이 없어서 택시를 탔어요. This is how you'd say that. 시간이 없어서 택시를 탔어요. And again, the Korean sentence. 시간이 없어서 택시를 탔어요. This means I didn't have time, so I took a taxi. A perfect real-world example of cause and effect. Let's hear the full sentence one last time. 시간이 없어서 택시를 탔어요. You're doing great. We've just gone through 5 really solid examples. Now, just to make sure this really sticks, let's do a quick final review of all those sentences we just learned. Okay, I'm just going to read all 5 of them nice and slow. 배가 아파서 병원에 갔어요. 비가 와서 집에 있을 거예요. 너무 피곤해서 일찍 잤어요. 돈이 없어서 못 샀어요. 시간이 없어서 택시를 탔어요. Great. Let's do that one more time. Really listen to the flow and the rhythm of the language. 배가 아파서 병원에 갔어요. 비가 와서 집에 있을 거예요. 너무 피곤해서 일찍 잤어요. 돈이 없어서 못 샀어요.
시간이 없어서 택시를 탔어요. And there you have it. You've just learned one of the most essential, most useful ways to express because and so in Korean. By getting comfortable with a-pa-seo, you can now build sentences that are so much more complex and descriptive. It's a real game changer.
So, the most important thing now is to actually use what you've learned. Just think about your day. Why did you do something? Try to make a sentence about it using a-pa-seo. That's how you really truly make it your own. Thanks so much for joining me today and happy learning.